Yes.
And I do have one item for consideration not on the consent agenda. I have a resolution determining personal property purchased for the Warren County Prosecutor's Office as obsolete and permitting private sale of the obsolete property.
So moved.
And yes.
And that's all I have.
Very good. Molly, morning.
Thank you. Okay, come on up, team. You're gonna have people join us up here.
Yeah, I had a feeling they weren't here to talk about the solar eclipse.
Not yet, but that's pretty cool. So on this 19th day of March 2024, Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District staff and board, along with Warren County Farm Bureau, Warren County Ag Society, Ohio State Extension, Natural Resource Conservation Service, Ohio Department of Natural Resources, and Ohio Department of Agriculture would like to thank the Warren County Commissioners for recognizing this day as National Ag Day. National Ag Day is a day to recognize the producers who are the best stewards of our land. America's producers are not only producing food, forage, and fiber for today, but they are also investing in climate solutions that will ensure a prosperous agricultural future for generations to come. The acknowledgement of the important role agriculture plays in all of our lives is vital for the sustainability of the industry. Agriculture is the #1 industry in Ohio. Statistics from USDA report that Ohio farmers farmed 13.7 million acres of land in 2023. Farming provides 1 in 8 jobs in Ohio. Agriculture land composes approximately half of the land in Warren County, and the industry is deeply ingrained in our culture. There are approximately 1,576 producers in Warren County, most of them between the age of 35 and 65, although there are 436 producers over the age of 65 now. Warren County's leading crop are soybeans and corn, while layers top the livestock list. Fun fact, Ohio is one of the largest egg farming states in the nation, producing 10 billion eggs a year. Warren County farmers have made their homes and raised their families here, all while supplying food to nourish their fellow man. Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District works hard to honor the agricultural legacy within the county and assist agriculture producers with technical knowledge, partner agency resources, and funding opportunities to allow the agriculture industry to thrive in this great county. We are thankful to the Warren County Commissioners for their continued support of this work and of the agricultural community of Warren County. So thank you.
Comments?
Well, I took a picture from this view for you, so I just need to send it to you so you have it. Because
That
every
would be
time you're
great.
here, I see the pictures, it's like, we don't get to see your whole team, we just see us with the proclamation that I know that we have for you too. But
Yes, and we would like you to come down and get a picture with us if that's okay.
we have
Sure.
a proclamation for you too.
We do, but I mean, yeah, from our standpoint, we're all about economics and the businesses and the economic development here, but agriculture is one of our top 2 industries. I mean, it's incredibly important to this county, and we recognize that. And then on more of a macro level, we also recognize just how important farming is from even a national defense standpoint. That it is critically important that we protect our farmland and make ourselves completely independent of being dependent on anyone else. That we recognize that, and we support the efforts that your group does, and couldn't be more proud to recognize, what a segue that was, recognize March 17th through March 23rd, 2024 as National Agriculture Week. I'll read a little bit of this. Whereas we recognize the unique and irreplaceable value of farmers, ranchers, foresters, farm workers, and other agricultural stewards have contributed to our nation's past and present, whereas America's agriculture sector safeguards our nation's lands through sustainable management, ensures the health and safety of animals, plants, people, provides a safe and abundant food supply, and facilitates opportunities for prosperity and economic development in rural America. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this Board of County Commissioners that the week of March 17th through the 23rd be proclaimed as National Agriculture Week. So we're very happy to do that.
Thank you.
we're-
Molly,
so
do you
much.
want to introduce your board and employees
don't have any board here, but we do have staff members here. We have people from Farm Bureau and then Extension here. So staff members, why don't you guys just go down the line and,
Don Norman, Natural Resource Conservationist. Tanner Schenkel, I'm the agricultural technician.
Emily Fisher, district technician. Cindy Meyer, conservation program specialist.
Kathleen Tutmiller, Warren County Farm Bureau.
Emily Rudd, Warren County Farm Bureau.
Greg Meyer, High State University Extension Ag and Natural Resources educator.
Greg, how we doing over with you guys? Everything
We're
rock and
good.
roll at the extension office?
We're good. Yep, we're good. Everybody's getting itchy to go farm.
busy right now.
Backing the tractors in and out of the barn, getting ready to go.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we're happy to come down.
Let me stay in the back.
Let's get this way a little bit, guys, and we'll angle it that way to get the flag. Guys, could you, some of you
Donnie,
go
why
on
don't
this
you
side?
come on that side?
Me?
Just like that one, on that side.
Set it up.
She said one more.
One more.
One more.
Okay.
Nice.
Thanks for being here.
See you guys.
Welcome. Nice to see you again. Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming back.
Greg.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. And
We have a
next we
couple cards I'm gonna pass out to you guys too. This is stats on Warren County.
Oh, great.
And then also we have, some Ohio ag stats too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Molly.
CBDG.
Number
Okay, very good. Ms. Mason, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm back today regarding the CDBG program to collect your thoughts and decisions on that program. I do notice that Commissioner Grossman isn't here today, so did you want to continue with your decisions, or did you prefer that I come back?
Why don't you go ahead and share your thoughts, Commissioner Jones? I know you've spent some time on this.
And Suzanne, thanks for your feedback on some of my questions that I had about the projects. And honestly, as is usually the case, it's, I guess, more art than science as I've gone through these things, but my preference would be to give the full allocation for our public service projects that we're allowed to do, and I just split it up proportionately, sort of consistent with how we divided it previously. I'd like to see 55,000 go to Family Promise and 30,000 go to Safe on Main. I like in terms of the other construction projects, you know, I always like to, in these really small communities where I know the kinds of funds that they need to do road projects are hard to come by, I like the small requests continuing the final phase of the Butlerville Road project to fully fund, and allow them to get that completed. I realize that it's a standalone project, but they phased it out over these three cycles. I know that the city of Franklin is just doing a lot of restoration in their downtown area and are doing a lot of projects, and they're putting a lot of resources into it. But to be able to get the stormwater, this particular area to replace these storm pipes and catch basins. I just put that in at 150,000 as a placeholder. Again, on Harveysburg, I know that this is a really small community and coming up with the funds can be difficult. I see their local funds are only 22,000 and they're requesting almost 200,000. One of my questions to Suzanne, Commissioner, was how much kind of allows those projects to continue. It seems to be whatever we would put into it, they could utilize and they would, stagger off. So again, I just put a placeholder in there at roughly 150,000. And then on the South Lebanon King improvement, I just put in 87,000 in there. Oh, and I did provide for the full funding for the Morrow Bridge at 180,000. Kind of the same analysis, and it's been since '21 since they've had any CDBG funds. So 38 for Butlerville, 150 for the city of Franklin, 150 for Harveysburg, 180 for Morrow, and 87 for South Lebanon. Sort of just taking the money that you say we're gonna have and divided it up that way. So there's nothing I feel super strongly about. I was just trying to keep projects moving, recognize small communities, and looking at communities that hadn't gotten an allocation for a while. So those were my thoughts.
I think that's a very reasonable, thoughtful approach to this, and it's never easy to tell someone no, but that's part of the job when the pie's only so big and we have to allocate these resources. And I tend to agree, completing projects is always good. Small communities that don't have the resources, that's always good. And then splitting it up a little bit to where it's not just one community consistently getting it every year is also very good. And I think this is a fairly reasonable allocation of that, and I'm fine moving forward with Commissioner Jones's allocation.
Thank you very much for all of that information. I appreciate that. I wanted to just point out, we do not yet know our allocation, so I'll be able to take this, and if I need to make tweaks to it later, I'm happy to do that. I also wanted to mention, just for clarification, to continue to receive these funds, there are two plans that we have to submit to HUD every 5 years. One, the assessment of fair housing you already approved in October, and the other one is the consolidated plan. The Regional Planning Commission has worked on that. It is largely the same as the last one. No significant changes, therefore, once it's complete, we were just going to send it through, if that's all right with you.
Great.
All right.
Sounds good.
The only thing I would just say that I didn't say is that the Franklin Township project here that I didn't put any resources there was not because of any reason other than they've received allocation in 4 years and no other community had, and we have limited resources to deal with. So just to be on the record that it wasn't, there's no bias against that. It's just an issue of trying to spread it around as best we can.
Why don't you like Franklin Township?
Thank
Very
you
good.
very much.
You're welcome.
Suzanne, we appreciate you. We appreciate, I know there's a lot of complicated rules and regs on this, but we appreciate what you do,
Thank you.
keeping us in line on this.
Thank you.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Very good. Melissa, good morning. Very important subject.
So I'm gonna pass this stuff out, and then this is Sydney Renner, this is our operations manager for EMA.
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning. I expect little Bonnie Tyler to be playing in the background.
I asked Suzanne if she could sing a little for us before we got started.
All right, so this is just general information about what the eclipse is going to potentially bring to us in terms of impacts and what we are talking about at the county level of how we're preparing for that. So the total solar eclipse is going to be April 8th. It's going to be on a Monday. We're about 20 days away. The significance of this is that the last total solar eclipse that was visible from Ohio was back in 1806, and the next one won't be until 2099. There was that solar eclipse that happened in 2017 that hit the southern states a little bit in our area, and when we saw that happen, there was lots of impact in terms of travel. People from 47 different states, 25 different countries came. Populations doubled, tripled in some areas, and it caused a lot of gridlock on the interstates, communication outages, and a lot of other infrastructure was impacted. So as we look forward to that, just a couple differences real quick. In 2017 versus 2024 that we're gonna see, the population that was in the path was about 12 million. This is almost 32 million, so it's gonna be a lot more people that this is going to be able to reach. The band itself is bigger, so there's more areas to view this, as well as the max duration. In 2017, it was just under 3 minutes. This one should be visible for just over 4 minutes, so we're gonna see a lot bigger impact. People are gonna be drawn to this one a little bit more. Here's just a graphic of the pathway in Ohio. You'll see that it starts in the southwest, moves up and exits at the northeast. It'll start just a little after 3 o'clock is when the totality will be here, but we're gonna start seeing the eclipse itself closer to about 2 o'clock. We'll start seeing that change over with the actual moon passing in front of the sun in its totality just about 3:08 on that afternoon. And then we are just on the border, so northern parts of Warren County, including Carlisle, Franklin, Springboro, Waynesville areas are going to have that perfect view of totality. The rest of the county is only going to see a partial. And it's going to be roughly 2 to 4 minutes, depending on where you are, that you're going to have that perfect viewpoint. This is a map that we have with our partners with Ohio EMA. It shows different events that are going along in the state that we know of, so we can kind of track where people might be in terms of traffic and population density. We know for sure that there are confirmed 3 in Warren County, and we have approximately 10 along our borders with Butler, Montgomery, and Greene. So just so we know where those are, we have heard rumblings about a couple others that are going on as well, just nothing confirmed on our point. And then this map shows how many people we're expected to see. So we learned a lot from the 2017 event, and moving into this one, we are projecting that there's going to be roughly 125,000 to 500,000 people visiting the state of Ohio. While that's statewide, what we know is that we have interstates that run through our county that people are likely going to be traveling on to get to these areas to view. So we know that traffic congestion is going to be a major concern, as well as what does that look like for our hotels? Are they going to fill up? Are people going to be on the interstates or in congested areas where communication outages happen as well? And here's a map real quick from our partners with ODOT and Ohio EMA. They modeled this to show when traffic might pick up and when congestion will happen. The map on the right here on our side or left, this starts at about 1 o'clock, and that's when the traffic is going to hit our interstates the most. And then this goes until about 9 o'clock that evening. We are still seeing traffic that late into the day. So a little before the eclipse starts, into the evening, we are expecting our traffic to be fairly congested on our interstates. And this is based off the 125,000 people number. It would only get more congested as we increase individuals into our area. And then just a little information about the weather in April. We can have a little bit of everything. We do live in Ohio. We can have all 4 seasons in one day. Typically it's fairly mild, but severe weather can't be ruled out. And what does that look like in terms of what kind of impacts are we going to have if we have all of these extra individuals in our areas or on our roadways and severe weather does happen? How do we prepare for that? All right, so just a few actions that we are doing in Warren County specifically. Leading up to April 8th, we are having routine statewide planning phone calls and meetings with Ohio EMA and other partners. ODOT's on that call, other counties are on that call. At the county level here, we have talked to our fire chiefs, our police chiefs, our schools, telecom. I know they're here. We've partnered with them quite heavily on what our backup plans are, how can we prepare, and what kind of infrastructure do we need to start protecting a little bit more. In terms of weather, the National Weather Service will start pushing out preliminary forecasts, so we kind of know where people might congregate. If it's super cloudy down here, they're probably going to move north, vice versa. Also, it might help with severe weather if there is something forecasted, we can start making those arrangements. We have drafted an incident action plan, and we are promoting preparedness on social media at different events like National Night Out, and through our newsletters and through partner emails like that. On the actual day of April 8th, we will have a partial activation of our EOC just to keep situational awareness and be able to monitor in case something does escalate that we need to respond to. And we do have scheduled briefings already with statewide partners to help keep that awareness across the state. So just a variety of information. That's what we have. Is there any questions or further discussion you guys would like to have?
Sounds like you all are right on top
On
of this, which is good.
Do you have glasses? That's what I wanna know. Do you have access to the glasses?
We do not, but there are a variety of events within the county that are passing them out. I know that the Warren County Astronomical Society is doing a number of events that have passed them out. Lebanon's Public Library has done an event which they passed them out to partners as well.
We got some on Amazon. They're like $15 for a big stack of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
They're everywhere. I mean, I think Kroger has them now,
Oh,
so
really?
they're a little bit of everywhere.
I don't get out much.
Yeah, there's, I was gonna say, there's this thing called Amazon. They just bring it to you.
Well, normally, that's why I don't get out much, but it never occurred to me to go to Amazon to get glasses.
Yeah, and they are plentiful right now, because the last time, I remember, my wife was in Florida when it happened the last time, and they were so sold out of glasses, she ended up having to go to a welding shop.
Correct.
And got like the industrial heavy-duty things, and I found those the other day. I'm like, holy cow, what's it? You know, so, but yeah, the little glasses are still plentiful now, and I think the public should be careful of where
Yeah.
they're getting those from, because you wanna make sure that they
Yeah,
actually
there's an
work.
ISO
Yeah.
rating that they should be looking for, and if it's at that level, that's federally
It's what?
decided. It's
ISO.
It's an ISO, it's their rating system that they have, and as long as it's an ISO rated Eclipse glasses, they are safe.
One of the reasons that I asked Melissa and Sydney to come, and then also Gary and Paul, was we have had a couple of emails that have come to me relative to, is there anything that the county is doing itself relative to staff? I know a lot of the schools in the area are not open that day, and a lot of that I think has to do with the time the eclipse is going on is when a lot of kids are going home and on the buses, and so I think the safety and security of the kids. But I did reach out to some local governments kind of in the north, the middle, and the south, from Lebanon, Deerfield, Springboro, to see if they were doing anything specific, and they're doing business as usual, but that question has been posed to me, so I wanted to make sure that it was posed to you as well.
Well, it sounds like it happens really quickly and during the business day, so I don't.
Yeah, I mean, the last time, I mean, in 2017 with our business, I mean, we basically just put the phones on, you know, record, and everybody went outside for a half an hour. I mean, I would say that that's kind of what the county, if county employees want to go outside and view the eclipse, I mean, you know, maybe once in a lifetime opportunity here, I've got no problem with that, you know, short of the 911 folks. I mean, that's gonna be a little tough for them to put it on the answering machine, but, you know, short of those folks, if people wanted to go outside for a half an hour or whatever and view it, I would have no problem with that myself.
Yeah. And so what I'll do is I'll send out a message to not only the directors, but the other elected officials, a sentiment of that, and some of them may be watching as well. But again, I just wanted to make sure that we were informed and that they're prepared. I know that Paul and Gary have some plans relative to communications, because I think that's a part that Sydney talked about, is the fact that some of the everybody's on cell phones and things, that might be a little overloaded. And I know that even for some individuals, there's been a special card that gives priority to first responders. So there's a lot of things going on, but I'll send that information out to.
But in terms of staff, the issue would be traffic, and this lasts for 4 minutes at about 3 o'clock. So really, if we're lucky and have a really great day and the event itself is over quickly, and presumably traffic will have a couple of hours dispensed before a large number of people are getting on the road.
Yeah, one thing Melissa told me, that even ODOT has said to some of their staff that they normally don't do this, but are allowing ODOT folks that are on the road to actually have gasoline cans in the back of their vehicles, in order for folks, if they're stuck on the highway, to get enough gas to get off of the next exit. So I would probably say to directors, in other words, is fill up a day or two ahead of time and have a full tank when you come in, so if there are traffic issues getting home, you don't fall into that experience.
I think it's just the unknown,
Mhm.
not knowing how many people are actually gonna come and then leave, when they leave, what that traffic
Well,
looks
I
like.
would avoid the interstates on that day.
Yeah, but I think that's reasonable, that, again, we don't wanna, you know, our employees, if they can get out and see it for a half an hour or whatever, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
If you want to, it's fine. Well, thank you.
Thanks. With the glasses, of course.
Of course. Very good. Public meeting, anything else to come before us? Nothing,
We have nothing else?
nothing with the S word.
Are you requesting a motion to adjourn?
Well, seeing nothing else and no more public comments, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And yes.
Thank you.